Styracosaurus lived in my town. She would have a huge birthday cake just to hold all of the candles, and she's already wearing a party hat. Dinosaur fact print. Styracosaurus means spiked lizard. She had a very large neck, frill with 6 long spikes around the edge, and lots of smaller spikes too. She also had a very big horn on her nose, at least 2 feet long. It's very likely that it was used to protect herself from other dinosaurs. Many people believe that the frill and face of Styracosaurus was brightly colored. If a velociraptor lived in my town, we could play catch, but he'd have to be careful that his claws didn't pop the ball. Dinosaur fact print. Velociraptor means fast hunter. He is probably the best-known dinosaur of the raptor family, as well as one of the fiercest of all dinosaurs. He had 3 very sharp claws on each big hand and on each foot. On the second toe of his foot was a terrible half-moon-shaped claw. Velociraptor also had 80 very sharp, jagged teeth. He was a very dangerous dino. If a pteranodon lived in my town, we could go hang gliding. Dinosaur fact print. Pteranodon means wing without teeth. He was a great glider with a very large wingspan. However, due to hollow bones, he only weighed about 40 pounds. Instead of a tail, he had a short pointy nub, but his head was almost as long as his body. He had a long pointy beak and was topped by an equally large pointy head crest. If an ornithomimus lived in my town, he'd win every race. Dinosaur fact print. Ornithomimus means bird mimic. He was a tall, skinny dinosaur. He was around the same size and looked very much like a modern ostrich, but had no feathers. He had long, powerful legs, long, thin arms, a beak, and no teeth. He could run very, very fast, as much as 30 miles per hour. If a supersaurus lived in my town, she could help build houses. Dinosaur fact print. Supersaurus means super lizard. She was one of the biggest dinosaurs and had an incredibly long neck and tail. 4 big elephant-like legs supported her large size and weight and helped balance her when she searched for food in tall trees. She measured 98 feet long, which is like 7 big cars parked bumper to bumper. If a Talaruus lived in my town, he could hit a home run every time. Dinosaur fact print. Talaruus means wicker tail. He was a small dinosaur who wore lots of armor. He had many bone plates on his flat back and lots of pointy knobs. He looked very thorny. His best feature, though, was his tail. It was long, thin, and very stiff, and had a big bony knot on the end. He could thwack other dinos with it. If a Therizinosaurus lived in my town, she would have the biggest eggs in the barnyard. Dinosaur fact print. Therizinosaurus was a very big bird-like reptile, almost 2 stories tall. She had a long tail, a coat of fine feathers, and huge long hand claws about the length of a regular-sized skateboard. Her eggs were as big as a rounded loaf of Italian bread. A rare egg fossil called Baby Louie was discovered in 1994. This egg contains a complete tiny skeleton that scientists believe might have belonged to a baby. There is an Dinosaurs. Baby Louie is still being studied today. If a Deinonychus lived in my town, he could be a spaghetti chef. Dinosaur fact print. Deinonychus means terrible claw. He was a thin bird-like dinosaur that stood as tall as a modern-day basketball player. He had large hands with 3 sharp claws on each and was a smart dinosaur. Deinonychus would have been very fast and skilled at twirling and separating tangled things like spaghetti.